So have somebody, so if there's a unit, there's no way that we can.
Yes, it will, because they can't limit it.
The way it stands
They can
now.
credit you. And if there's a complaint.
Yes, yeah.
You're right, the cars.
Can we call a meeting to order? Okay, our business tonight is very simple. We have three changes that are noted on the sheet that you have. Two of them are very similar, but there are three changes. And they're underlined, and we need to address them as to whether or not we will agree to the editorial change that will be made. And the first is on 4.4.3.6B1. And that is, we made a change based on input from Jay Henry that smoke CO detectors are installed in areas defined by, we had town adopted codes previously as the language. That's incorrect. Jay brings to our attention that we have no town adopted codes. We have state codes, and the New Hampshire State Fire Code is the town code. Therefore, it should reference the New Hampshire State Fire Code and New Hampshire State Building Code and not town adopted codes. So we're making that change, and for 1 and for 3, it had the same language both. I would like to offer those up as a single opportunity for voting.
I move that we make both those changes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The second change is 4.4.5, and it's underlined. It's the addition of a line to specify that, as we had said, at least in our prior public hearing, also from our conversations, that we had no intention of applying it against properties that are currently involved in short-term rental business, either because non-conform, whatever language you want to use, we said we were not going there. And so this sentence simply states that fact that we're not going there. Short-term rentals in existence in the rural residential district at the time of adoption of this ordinance at the March 12, 2020 annual town meeting shall be exempt from the restriction on the number of annual rentals. This does not exempt them from any other requirements, just on the number of annual rentals, and that is the 30 rental per dwelling unit annually. That is the change. Any discussion?
Yeah, I wanted to know, and I know you figured this out till the cows come home, but I just wanted you to reiterate it to me. That cannot be, can we get sued? That's what I'm trying to ask you. This is,
I mean, we can always get sued. I mean, somebody can sue you, but there has to be a reason why someone would want to sue you. Where is the benefit?
saying that, you did it for them, you can't, why make them what they, other than the fact that it was done before 2020.
Well, that would be saying that you should be able to sue the town for not allowing you to build a 60-foot building.
Or changing the frontage.
Okay. I'm just afraid of being sued. That's the reason I'm asking
No, I
any of
hear
these
you.
questions.
Yeah.
Because we've been sued before for stuff.
Yeah. But
I don't mean I mean the town.
Yeah, no, but it's no different than, you say, here's what you can do up to this point, then going forward, this is what is there, and
Okay.
I would like to raise for consideration, and this would be conditional on Peter's approval as an editorial change, whether we can limit that exemption or exception to the ownership of the property. In other words, when the property changes ownership, that the property is no longer exempted from that 30-day maximum. I don't know if that would be a substantial change. I'm also a little unclear as to whether how that works in relation to the conditional use permit, but.
Well, it's, because it's not a use that could become non-conforming, it's a special use permit. And you can, the permit is held by the applicant who signed it. Now, whether you can make that permit transferable is a matter that's...
Well, no, the permit, I think the permit follows the land. I don't think we can require someone to reapply.
That would be for 6 attorneys to come up with 6 different opinions on it.
Exactly.
But,
So I'm talking about parsing out a provision of the ordinance and limiting that provision to ownership of the, I have no idea, it'd be a question for.
I don't either.
I'm just suggesting
but
that,
it's
I
not...
think we're gonna have to wait on that one. I agree with you. I think it should somehow state that the application or the allowing,
The unlimited.
well, it should follow whoever signed it.
I did ask Peter about a sunset clause, if short-term rental activity ceases for a period of time, whether we can then exit that property from that exemption list.
Even if it's owned by the same party.
Even if owned by the
Yes.
same party. Peter said that that would be a substantial change, and, we would need to, we want this to
We'd
go
have to do that
forward.
later.
We need to do that next year at some later point. So we could also end it at ownership of the property in the same fashion, if that's a legal change.
Because you'd wanna at least speak with the next owner, because part of the process is to have a contact person that if there's a problem, nuisance, you know who to call. So I really should logically end with ownership.
Yeah, I don't think we can get there tonight on that, and I think that's something that, my thinking is we'll think about 12 different things, and Jerry, you'll help us think about 12 different things too. Maybe 10. But seriously, there are things that we haven't thought of, and there are things that we maybe could do better or like to do better,
But
or
this is a start.
or the state legislation's going to change what we have to do. And if the process can be simpler, damn it, let's make it simpler. This is the snapshot of what we can do right now. And I think put a lot of things to rest for a lot of folks. People in here in the room who's doing short-term rentals, I think could sleep nights better. I think folks who are worried about their whole town turning into short-term rentals can maybe sleep a little bit better. By the time this is in place, if they agree that they want to do it, it's got to be voted in.
That's it, it's gonna go to town meeting.
Yeah, well, not the town meeting, actually, this will be voted on at the...
By ballot before the meeting.
This is by ballot.
Oh, okay.
So it does get approved, it does get accepted.
Jackson's not any
Oh,
fun
I
anymore.
feel better already.
But
It was way better than everything went through
just
town
as a
meeting.
point, the selectmen generally, when an ordinance is, a warrant is issued, the selectmen take a position on it, and either 2 for, 1 against,
Yeah.
2 against, 1 for, and that's recorded, and very often it influences how, generally, planning board issues get approved by voters. Not that they understand them, they just trust that you guys do. But in as much as this affects the selectmen in a very large way, the selectmen should understand what the process is, what the application is going to look like, what staff you're going to assign to deal with it. Those are things that you should work out and then decide.
Which is this?
That's right there.
Tom's.
Tom's.
Tom's?
What's that?
Is that yours?
Yes. Did it stop?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
it's a recorder.
He's testing.
Want to get rid of it?
It's a seat bug.
Yeah, better audio over there. That's why I moved it.
Very good.
I don't, I think those are all things that we would like to talk about, but I think we need to stay focused on where we're at right now. And we're pretty much at our limit, unless somebody has something that is truly an editorial change. They want to say fees instead of fines or something like that, okay. If it's reasonable, we'll change it. Anybody else have any other, well, let's talk, we didn't vote on this. Do we want to include the sentence? Do I have a motion to include it, or?
I give you a motion.
Second.
Which sentence? That one right there?
Again, the lines.
Okay.
4.4.5.1,
Okay.
short-term rentals in existence in the rural residential district, etc.
This is a vote on the changes, not the ordinance.
The change.
Just on the additional line. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Did we have
opposed?
a second?
I
I heard a motion. Did we have a second?
Second here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. All right, so I think the only other order of business that we have left to do this evening, and then we can all go home. And you get your hat ready?
Okay.
And that is that we need to vote whether we recommend this warrant article.
Have you recorded who's voting?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
I move that we recommend it, or are we recommending it, or are we?
We're gonna vote on it. I recommend we accept it as is. The whole thing. at
Put
this
it
time
forward.
As is.
As it
With the
were.
changes that we made.
Yeah, the warrant article as now
Oh,
finalized.
it's down.
I heard a motion.
Second.
Do I have a second? I have a second. Scott seconded. All right. I think we've had our discussion, so I'm just going to put it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, we have a 7-0. I think, unless there's anybody else has any other business for this evening, which I'm not going to really talk about unless it has exactly this.
I don't know when it'll come up, but I think it's an example of the internet. None of this would be in place without the internet. So it's another place where the internet has impacted us.
Except ban the internet, then we can get rid of all of this.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the internet. No Airbnb. But I think we're trying really hard to get ahead of it.
Well, and I think your point, the internet, things like this literally come at us overnight,
3 years ago,
where
we weren't
in years
using it.
past, there was a much longer curve to this sort of thing.
So as we have to answer people, I think that's part of the answer is we're just trying to catch up, really.
And most of the rentals really never started here until the early, major rentals, till the early 60s when they started building chalets, Alpendorf and Tyrol. And, before that, I mean, I've been here almost 73 years, and believe me, I've seen a lot of changes. And I don't like some of them. And Airbnb, I do rent Airbnbs, but yeah, I'd like to see more controls on it myself.
I don't think there's any way of stopping it now. I mean,
No.
it's just erupted and and
But-
I didn't realize the impact. We have to do something. And it might not be the most ideal thing that I personally think, but I think we need to address it and keep the people that do have short-term rentals happy. But I don't think honestly that this is the solution, but it's just the first step.
And as has happened often has happened in the past, is that we propose something and then as it gets, as we work with it, I mean, I can think of several instances where things have gone to the ZBA and then they've approved it, so they say, hey, come on, let's just put an amendment here so it doesn't have to keep
We
going
don't have to
to
keep
the
on
ZBA.
doing that again.
Right. So
All in favor?
it's not
Did I
passing.
hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, yeah, it's already been out there for an
Wait a minute,
hour.
who was that? That was
It was actually Dick.
Dick?
I seconded it.
Okay, we had a first, and all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, thank you, everyone.